Greetings, everyone. I am Sartura Schumann-Smith, Manager of Programs and Community Engagement here at the CDC of Tampa, the Corporation to Develop Communities. And I am very happy to be back with the CDC Experience. And this month, April, is Financial Literacy Month. And I know everybody gets a little scared when we start to talk about managing our finances. But today we have an amazing guest here who's going to share some tips, some information about how we can pull those dollars together to make it work for us. We work hard for it, so we need to make sure that it works for us. So today, my special guest is my very good friend and one of our amazing community partners here at the CDC. We have Ms. Tarnisha Peters, who is representing the BBIF, which is the Black Business Investment Fund. Tarnisha is the Regional Director for West Florida. So welcome, Tarnisha.
Thank you. I'm so glad to be here.
We're happy to have you as always. And when I thought about this being Financial Literacy Month, I said, well, who is the money person to talk to? And that is you. So Tarnisha, some people may not know a lot about BBIF or may not know at all what BBIF. So can you tell our viewers what the BBIF does for the people in our community?
So BBIF stands for Black Business Investment Fund, and we've been around for over 36 years. So BBIF is a certified community development financial institution. And again, we provide not only financial literacy, but we also provide access to capital anywhere from $10,000 to $2 million.
Okay, all right. That sounds really, really good. So let me ask you this. And before we go on, let me just say to our viewers, if you're watching this and enjoying this, please make sure that you go to our website at www.cdcoftampa to get more information about what we do here at the CDC. And you can also find us on all social media platforms. So Tarnisha, with BBIF, do you all just work with small businesses or individuals?
We work with small businesses.
Okay, all righty. So before someone, and I know just from my experience here at the CDC and working with you all and other financial institutions, that there are a lot of small businesses out here. And I know that from a, I want to say a financial perspective, that a lot of people don't have the knowledge they need to really be successful in finances, and not just business, but personally. And so there are so many components to financial literacy, like investing and taxes and debt and savings. So what advice would you give to a small business owner about financial literacy and then an individual?
Well, it's funny you said that because I just sat on a panel this past week and a lot of the discussion revolved around preparing yourself, building relationships, not only with like your bankers, but your tax preparers, letting them know the type of goals and things that you want to have for the year and checking back with them on either a monthly or a quarterly basis to understand where you are, what opportunities that may be presented or available to you, understanding the resources. Because say, for instance, if I am your financial person that you want to talk to and open up about what's going on with you and your business, I would remember some of the things that you're looking to do. So if there's a resource that I may be privy to, I would be able to share that information with you, because guess what? I know who you are. I know how to contact you. I know how to get in contact. I know how to reach you in reference to making sure that you are available for the opportunity that's being presented. So just building those relationships and getting prepared. And when I talk about being prepared is basically understanding what a budget is.
Okay.
And I probably would want to stop right there and allow you to go on to your next question, because I'm pretty sure we're going to talk about budget.
Okay. So, and we're talking about the small business owner, and we're also talking about the individual. And I'm going to just speak personally. I know anytime finances is mentioned, you get a little nervous, you get a little scared, because it's easy to spend, but it's when it comes down to putting it down on paper and pulling out your bank statements or your tax records, that can be very frightening. Yeah. So how do you, Tarnisha, take that fear away from somebody?
Well, I think I take it back to the relationship, making them feel comfortable and just building that trust with people and helping them understand, like, when we're looking at your balance sheets and looking at your operating expenses, a lot of times we don't know what we're spending our money on. It could be subscriptions, like how many people may spend like $500 and don't even know that they're spending $500 a month. If you have a business, because you have so many things that you're responsible for, you could have subscriptions with, what is it? Netflix. You can have more than one because they do tend to have advertising where if you add additional this or that, it builds up.
Correct.
So if we're able to understand what's going out and looking at it, because sometimes we do that peekaboo, and peekaboo is not going to work for you because every penny that goes out is a penny that can come in and you can save it. So understanding how to look at your documents, being okay, building that relationship with the person that's going to be looking at your information, and just having those tough conversations and preparing yourself for the long term. Understanding a cutting back a little bit today could help you in the long run.
Perfect. And I think right now in these economic times, that's very, very important because there's such an uneasiness and an unrest right now that people just aren't sure of how to do this. And, you know, I like the fact that you say that you have to find somebody that you trust because you might feel like you're being judged. And I'm very sensitive, everyone. And so it would really make me nervous once you start looking at what I'm doing. But also what you said is you may not even be aware of certain things, certain fees that are being tacked on to things that you aren't aware of. The fact that you did have a subscription to something and it's like, oh, I'm still paying for this. So I appreciate you bringing that up. So you mentioned budgeting and you said you're quite sure we're going to get to that. So for the non-small business owner, average person out there working hard every day, most likely like most people living paycheck to paycheck, how do you approach budgeting with them?
Well, when we talk about budgeting, it's just looking at what is coming in. So I would just use an example. If you're making about $3,000, you want to make sure that you're able to balance that $3,000 a month to a point where at least you're saving, giving, and paying your bills. A part of that saving should be at least 3 to 6 months of saving for the year, obviously, right? So say, for instance, if you're saving 30% of your income per month, that should at least help you if there is a disaster or if there's something that you can have an emergency fund that you can work towards being able to tap into that if you have an emergency. So I will always say, make sure that you're living below your means. And that's what I'm building up to. Like, don't just spend paycheck to paycheck. And when you're saying that some people are living in hard times today.
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely.
But everyone can learn how to save something. You don't necessarily have to save $500. You can save $5, $10, and build yourself up. Funny story about this is my niece, nephew, and my son, for Christmas this year, I gave them a little book that says save for 100 days. And basically the first day you save $1. Second day you save $2. And by the end of the 100 days, you are supposed to be able to save up to $5,000.
And what is this book called?
It's I think it's called Save $100, 100 days or something like that.
$1 within 100 days.
It's not $1. It's a savings book. How about that? It's a savings book within 100 days. So basically I gave them this book, and for each of them, I gave them enough to save for 25 days. So for up to 25 days, that's like $150 for each person. But what I did tell them is what you save on top of this, I would match it 50%. So if they save the $5,000 after a year. I didn't just give them 100 days. After a year, I said that I would match it up to $2,500 because that's half of it.
Okay. Okay, Rich Auntie Tarnisha. Okay.
Well, it's a catch to that. I know they're not going to do it.
Okay.
But I know they're not going to do it just for the simple fact of it's hard to have money and not spend it. Hence why you want to have someone that you trust or put it in an institution. But I am not setting them up for failure. I'm setting them up to see what the possibility is.
Exactly.
Because
Right.
there's a goal there.
Right.
There's something that they can strive towards. And it's not just for this year. It can be for anything. Because my niece is like 14 and she's like, well, I want a car.
Okay.
So you can save towards your car, which means that when you get birthday gifts, because your salary may not cover, you to save money. You get birthday gifts or any type of gifting that you may receive, you can put that towards savings. Or creating a hobby. We have opportunities here in Tampa where you can learn so many different techniques and different things to get extra income. I just learned that MROC, which is a local organization here, has a print press there that you can come in and utilize. They have sewing classes. All of these things are for free. So you can take these hobbies or these tools and utilize them in making your own money. And maybe you can do something to support you for saving for the future. But it's all about finding ways. We have to be creative.
Creating your own social enterprise. And I know people like to use the term side hustle. I don't like the word hustle, but I do understand what people are saying. But there are opportunities. And I think that's what we have to instill in people, because again, I may look at my check and look at your check and say, there's no way I can do what you're doing with what I'm making or what you're making. But to educate and enlighten people on the opportunities, that are out there, so like what you're saying, I haven't even heard of that. So those are things that people can, you can go online and look up how to make extra money, how to do certain side jobs at home. There are so many remote positions now where you can do this and you can do that. But I just think that, people still need to really get a grip or a grasp on reality. And reality is what scares us. The not knowing or the am I able and capable of doing these things. And I know you, and I know the work that you do in this community, and you have to be commended because you're just such an awesome person with a wealth of knowledge. And we respect highly the BBIF and other organizations that are out there supporting our residents, our community. So again, people can go to BBIF.com.
BBIF.com, and they can call 813-771-0378.
Repeat that again.
813-771-0378. I said it so fast the first time. I was like, oh my goodness.
That's okay. But we want to make sure people are getting the knowledge that they need. And again, there are so many resources out there that are available. With financial literacy, we are talking about investing. We talk about taxes.
I just want to talk about taxes.
The scary part, debt and savings. So go ahead. I think we have time that you can talk about those taxes.
I just want to talk quickly about taxes because a lot of times we think a refund is the be-all, end-all. And as a business, getting a high refund does not mean that your company is in good standing. That means that you may be in the negative and feel as though that you're owed some money. And you may get those $20,000, but that $20,000 is not going to help you to get a loan in the future, especially if you're trying to get an acquisition.
Okay.
That's why it's important to have a financial advisor or a CPA that can help you with goals and setting those goals. And sometimes it's okay to take that loss to get a better gain. And I think that is where we have to make it make sense, because when we get these refunds, it is not a lottery ticket. It is not a winning lottery ticket for you
Exactly.
to go and spend all of your money and then you're starting back at one. So that goes back to, if you do get a refund, you would want to at least save 30% of that money. Because as I talked about earlier, you want to have at least 3 to 6 months of an emergency fund. We had a natural disaster. We actually had 2 natural disasters last year where it was hideous for a lot of people. And they didn't have the funds to support. And then I think some of the funders, I'm not going to call any names, ran out of money.
Okay.
So people were really struggling. And to avoid something like that, you would want to prepare sooner than later for that at least 3 to 6 months for that support to be able to kick in.
And people are struggling and still struggling. But that preparedness is what's so important. But again, you talk about those things that are scary, but that knowledge and it does seem like a windfall. When you get that income tax return, it's like, woo, I'm going to do this. But again, we have to get in the mindset of what I need to save, what I need to put to the side. And I'm going to tell you a funny story. I remember last year, somebody gave me a birthday card and it was a $100 bill in it. And I folded that $100 bill up and stuck it in my wallet. And it's still there.
Wow.
And I pride myself on looking at that $100 bill, and I refuse, for whatever reason, to spend that $100. It's right there in my face.
Wow.
I know where it's at, so I can go right back to it. But for some reason, that's like an accomplishment for me. So I think if we look at savings as an accomplishment and think about the rewards at the end of what, when we start to save, that how that can work. But I'm just so excited about my little folded up $100 bill, and I hope that doesn't make me go back to it when we get through with this podcast. But I just want to say, I think we're running out of time.
Okay.
But Tarnisha, I think we could have probably gone on and on and on for a long time about so much that's out there. But again, you all can go to BBIF.com to find out more information about financial literacy and the work that BBIF is doing here in the community. And as always, you can go to our website at www.cdcoftampa to find out about all of the amazing work that we do.
Well, it was great being here. I
Thank you.
enjoyed
Thank
myself.
you.
And
Thank you.
like you said, I can just go on and on and on talking about all the great things that we have available. But I also know that CDC has a financial literacy program too, correct?
And yes, we do. And I'm so glad that you brought that up, because you can go to our website to check out a program that we have here that is fairly new, and it's called Wealth Builders. So you can find more information about our Wealth Builders program here at the CDC, or you can go again to that website, which is cdcoftampa.org, and reach out to Maggie Sanchez to find out more about how we're doing our part to help our families with financial literacy. And Tarnisha, thanks again. I owe you big time because of the work that you do here in the community, and we appreciate you so very much here at the CDC. So thanks again for coming back. And of course, we can always bring you back for more information.
Yes, I would love to come back.
Thank
But
you.
thank you again for having me.
Absolutely.